see some small cool stuff that could help you on your daily operation. So this is what I'm going to do. It's just a list of small stuff I'm going to do, sharing with you those tips and tricks. So this is a live demonstration. I will give you a list what I'm going to show, but then we will just go live and go one after the one, on the live environment. Um, some of those, like I said before, some features are there since maybe forever. Okay, since SAP Business One exists, and most of them would be in that part. So you don't necessarily have to be on the very latest version of SAP Business One to use them. Some are, there for a long period. So we will switch to that demo environment soon, but I'm going to show you, this is my bucket list today, okay? So we'll show you how you can display additional data on a message bar at the bottom. This is something you can do. How to build a fast link between two tables in your query. If you use Query Manager, there's ways in specific tables to do the fast links between them. When we run that query, we would be able to see how we can summarize the totals of the columns. There's a quick way to do that as well. I will show you that. Show you ways to build your own shortcuts to open some specific forms. The control tab, or this is combination of key, what you can do with it, it's more than just overriding a default definition that you want to override, like the item name on a sales order, but control tab could do more than that. Look at the drag and relate, show you how it is you can use that. It's there, it's always in front of you, but maybe you have forgotten how to use that, and we do with ACP, and I can show you also what you can do with a search in that matter. We could look at the changelog, look at some restore functions, how we can handle gross weight, net weight, how you can fit your data in your screen. If we have more time, then launch applications, cool features about copy and paste, how to modify your display, use the tooltips of SAP Business One, and at the end, show, especially if you have the HANA version, how you can use live collaboration. So a lot of stuff for this half an hour, and we will just go through them right away in this small demonstration here on my demo database. So I will connect there. So we will start with the bottom bars here. You see that this bottom bar is divided. Actually, you're familiar that when you actually perform or hover over some data, the system will just write something in there. It will tell you what it is, or even there, if I use the system information, the system is just telling me the kind of data I'm dealing with, the table, the field name, etc. So you see stuff on that side, but you could see also stuff on the other side, where it comes from. Okay, so what I did here is actually, showing the balance sheet of a customer. How can this be done? Okay, this is a really easy spot. I can use those. There's 4 spots where I can share some data. So I can actually, using anytime a document, let's say I wanted to see the actual open deliveries for this customer. Okay, so I can take this number, drag that over that bar or that spot here, and the system will display for me the open deliveries or the open balance for deliveries in this matter. Okay, I had also previously did the account balance, the orders, and this is automatic from them. From there, if I move from one sales order to the other, you will see that those value change. So I have here like no balance, but an item delivery of $90. On the other customers, the open delivery is. So this is a cool feature. Okay, if you want to have some specific data showing right away in front of you, you can actually take some spot, from the screen and just drag and drop in there, and it will give you the data you want. Okay, that was the hidden feature number one. Okay, queries. Just looking at some query, I will use the query manager and query generator, and I would like to see, for example, the quantity on hand, by group or something like that. So I know that I will have to use my table, my item table, OITM. Okay, so I know I will need the item code. Okay, and the item name, etc. But I would like also to get the item group name. If I use just the item group code here, you know that this is going to give me actually just a code. If I run this, it is the code. This is not the code I would like to see. I would like to see the name. So the system is telling me right away, that when I look at this information, okay, it is I don't know why it stays in blue there, but you see that some of the fields there are on a bold format. It means that the information comes from another table. What is cool about that is that I don't have to remember which table it comes from. I can take this field and just drag that into my table list over there on that side. And what it will do, it will automatically build the link between those tables on that side. Okay, and then we'll just modify that to be on the HANA format for this presentation. But from there, I will be able to actually take the value I want, which is my item name, double click on that. And then when I run my report, I will also have all my item names. So the system is able to just, do a quick link. So every time you run the table, every time you see those dark or bold field, it means that this is data that is stored in another table, and you can bring that table, drag and drop, just to the main one. Okay, so I want something about the preferred vendor. I can do that. The system will build the link for me, and I will be able to actually draw more data about that. Right? Let's do something about, let's see what I have as a good example on queries. Let's say I run this report here. It's called Procure to Pay. I have a bunch of lines, bunch of data. I have some totals and stuff like that. But what I would like to see here would be fun is to get the full amount of this column. Okay, I don't have to. You can use a copy paste. Bring that. Do a copy table. Bring that into an Excel format, and you then from the Excel sheet you would do the summarize this column. But you could do it instead directly from the screen. Okay, the trick is just to click over here on the column total, but it's like a combination key, a control key on your keyboard, control plus double click. So I do control double click on this column, I get the sum at the bottom. I can do that any columns I have figures, I will be able to get the total at the bottom. So this is a cool feature. This is when you have some specific queries, you want to summarize some columns, you can do so. And from there, I can even copy paste that and I will get, summarized value in my Excel sheet as well. This is cool. Build your own shortcuts. Sometimes you use forms. You might not be aware, or maybe you are aware that there is a lot of keyboard shortcuts existing within the application. If you don't know them, the system will show you. Let's go to some interesting stuff here with multiple lines. Okay, let's start with this one. The system always show you at the top those icons that you can use, or from the menu will say give you some specific task you can do within a form. Okay, copy to, copy from, duplicate, etc. So when we look at any of those functions here, okay, it will always tell you what you can do. First, you will see grayed out is where you are on your form. You cannot do that, but you can do the other stuff. And also, it gives you some keyboard shortcuts, that you can use instead. Okay, so if I want, I go in a find mode for my form, I know I can use the binoculars here, but I can do also a Control F. If I want to add or switch to the add mode, I can use the add form icon or switch to Control A. So there's stuff like that. So if you never noticed, there's a lot, we see a lot of those shortcuts that are already existing, but you can create your own. If you go on your tools and you know that you always going to create or often creating sales order, for example, and you don't want to go in the menu, find sales order and open that, well, you can create your own shortcuts. You do this my shortcuts feature, and there's already a sales order created for my, let's create a new one then. Did that for prepare the example. I forgot to erase that. So let's create for an invoice instead. My shortcuts. Okay, so I want to customize. I will say that my F4 would be for a AR invoice. Just want to find it. It's on the, like here. Okay, and then F4 on my keyboard will be the combination I need to open a sales order. So from there, if I do F4 on my keyboard, okay, sorry. So I just notified that while I had made the mistake on programming my key, the key that I was pushing was just, muting myself. So now I'm back, with the microphone. I would just tell you that, I have programmed the F4 on my keyboard, and I would just be able with that function to actually this simple combination, open NAR invoice and prepare what I have to do with that. Okay, so you can build or use additional shortcuts on your own. You have like a 12 position that you can use. We will go to the next topic, which was the control tab. So what I was trying to tell you before I left the microphone off is that the control tab is doing more than just, being able to change the item description, because, this is what we can do usually. I change the item description. If I don't use the control tab, the system will block me, but if I use control tab, it will allow me to go to the next screen. So control tab is also context sensitive. It can do much more than that. Going in the quantity field, and I do control tab there, would be a batch selection window. So if I am in a sales order, I would like to pre-select the batch I'm going to sell a customer. Control tab on the quantity field would just allow me to do that and select a batch I want to give to my customer. I can do that same control tab on the price field. What it does, a control tab on the price field, it will open me the last price report. And I could, from that report, could decide that I'm going to use another price instead of the original one. And it will switch automatically to the price according to my history or the price list that it's showing on my last price report. Control tab is also something you can do use on the warehouse. We're using the warehouse. Clicking on the control tab will actually bring you the actual inventory or the committed value by warehouse. In this case, there was only stuff in the warehouse number one, but you would be able also to see the entire story. So if there's not enough stock in this warehouse, you can easily find it. So this is a cool stuff you can find, using the control tab. There is some features on your grid that will allow you. It is context sensitive. All right. What else? We'll save those change. The drag and relate function, it is there. It's kind of behind your regular modules on the right. But often we tend to forget that we have this feature. Feature that exists for a long time with SAP Business One, even with SQL, not just for HANA. And it allows you to actually take two different or specific product or specific business partner. For example, I will open my business partner table. And I would like to see the invoice I did, let's say for the Star company. I would like to see the invoice. So I can just go in my sales modules again in the drag and relate, take the customer code, drag that over my invoice, and then we'll find very easily no matching found. Okay, it was never invoiced. That's so good. Let's go for sales order then. Okay, there is a bunch of sales order that were prepared for this customer. Okay, so that gives me the sales order. I don't have the details. If I am more interested in the details, I would go instead with the sales order details. Okay, and then I will get all the items that were made on a sales order for that customer Star company in this particular case. If I am interested more in a specific item, for example, this one, I can apply filter. And once I do that, the system will just bring me all the items related to that. In this particular case, there was only one. So drag and relate is a tool that could be powerful to find, if you need to know when a specific transaction occurred with one item, one customer, etc. Drag and relate will tell you very quickly how to do that. This is not the only way. Now with SAP Business One HANA version, we have this search function. And this search function, let's say if I type the same customer name, okay, and I type a second word, which would be part of a item or item description. Let's say I type office because I know there's some office printers, stuff like that. So I type star office and I do a search for that. The system will look at any combination and give me whatever it finds, according to this definition. He found 6 sales order. I can look at those sales order and I will see that just hovering on that. All those 6 sales order are for Star Company. And I can see that it match on the item list, the description, which is an office print 1420. It does that for all those. So it's a very powerful tool, typing few words, an item code, an item name, part of the item code, part of the item name, business partner. It will do a match for you and bring you the entire history about that. So this is the search feature is a cool stuff. And you can use it, not just one word, but using multiple words. It will bring you combinations, for you. What other stuff is cool? Well, something that is forgotten, especially when you do sales quotation, sales order, or sales quotation. Often, you would have to prepare quote for a customer, and the customer asks you for change or ask you to do something differently. Let's go back to my main menu here, sales quotation. Okay, so you will get some different versions. And the system, every time you modify, you know that every modification or most of your modification done inside SAP Business One is recorded in a log, and you can have access to this log. A sales quotation like this one here, if I go in tools and select change log, will give me all the version that was made. This one has only one. It's not fun to demonstrate about that. Change log about this one. Okay, so this one has 3 different versions. So since I created this quote, it was modified 2 times. Okay, so, and I know who did the original quote, and I know also who did the modifications afterward. Selecting, and you can see those quotes, just by double clicking on them. You will see this is the first version. I can see the second version. I can see the third version. So you will be able, to see all those modifications, right at the click of a mouse. The system is also able to provide you the difference between this one and this one. So you highlight the first one and the second one, you say, show me difference. The system will just give you the list of everything that was changed within that sales order between those 2 versions. Okay, so this is something you have to remember. This is a tool that is fun to use and to understand. If something happened wrong, you can know, you can trace what was done in the past. Let's close that. I can say also, let's switch to the copy paste. Let's say that you did a modification on your quote. Let's go back to this quote 696. 696. Was that the one? No. 696. Doesn't seem to be the same. Oh, I am in sales order here. Sorry. Sales quotation 696. Okay. So you have prepared a very long quote. You know that the customer was not satisfied with the first version, ask you to go to the second one, third one, etc. You do a lot of modification. And finally, the customer said, you know what? Let's go back to the first version. So you don't have to go back into your first version and do everything out of the box. You could easily open your changelog, open your first version, and just copy paste. Using the copy paste function of SAP Business One, I can do a copy table and bring back my first version in my quote, and the system would just modify everything to the original version. So copy paste is also a cool stuff, that you could use that to copy to Excel, bring from Excel data into SAP Business One. You can copy from grid to grid. It doesn't have to be a grid of the same matter. Okay, you can copy information and invoice into a sales order. You can do that. What you can do, as I did, copy a version of the log into my main version of the system. Cool stuff. I will show you something we use from time to time as a consultant, but you could use on your own, on your side. It will happen from time to time because there was a blackout or, a shortage or unplanned, shut off of your server. It will happen from time to time that few tables in SAP Business One will be unsynchronized, meaning that my item balance doesn't fit with what I have. The system told me that there is some open orders, or committed values on my item master data, but actually I have no open orders. That's okay. It's possible. If you want to fix that, SAP Business One provides a tool. It's under the help support desk. It's called restore. And if you do one of those, if there is some numbers that doesn't match, the system will fix that. Your item balance doesn't match, you find that there should be no committed values. Run the item balance. The system will ask you for which items you want to do that. The system will recompute everything and can be sure after that that the missing figures or the figure that doesn't match will be matching again, because SAP Business One will refit the balance of your tables. Okay, so we will let it go like that. Did you know that actually in the item master data, there is a weight field where you can compute the actual weight of a package, within sales order and stuff like that. So I don't know if I can open that while I'm doing this. Maybe not. It's going to be a short time finishing. I should have restricted a few items. Luckily, there's not 100,000 items in my database. Okay. So we did that. Just looking at the item master data. When you record an item, okay, you are able to tell what is the actual weight of this item, okay, as a sales data, as a purchasing data, or inventory data, okay? There's weight fields, okay? Usually you would tell, okay, this item weighs, let's say 140 kilograms. So when I use that on a sales order, it will just compute and tells me if I use 2 items that my overall package should weigh, 280 kilograms, because it computes that. But this field is actually a special field where you can add 2 different types of data. So if I have my net weight of 140 kilogram and I would like to add, for example, the weight of the pallet, because it comes on a pallet, I can do that, and I can add 10 kilo for my pallet. So this system will now compute and use not only 140 kilo, but actually would be more like a gross weight of 150 kilograms. So it keeps both value. I am able to save that. Okay, so this is now 150. If I'm going to use this item in a sales order, copy that, oops, in here, telling that I'm going to use 2. The total weight, if I use the weight calculation, which is here behind, it will just give me the gross weight, 300 kilogram instead of so this is a way to know, to record, and those fields, they seem to be combined, but actually it is separate and separate fields. So we are able to extract this information in a report, in a delivery document, having the net weight and the gross weight all together. Okay, this is the special feature that you might not know. If you are in a sales order again, okay, and you get a small window where everything is, you're not able to see sometimes what you want to do. I want to see the full description. Then you try to grab the line. You're not able to do it. It's difficult. You get that for a lot of columns. If you are tired of trying to do that, you don't have to do so, okay? There's a function in there. It's called, from the view, fit column width. You do that and you can be sure that all your columns from that, just by the single click, you will be able to see your columns as you should, or you are expecting. So for myself, I'm doing that, in every day. You are using an Excel sheet that is often used, and you want that to be open easily, not having to go into some specific folder in there. You can actually record that Excel sheet, in a launch application. This could be used to launch a lot of stuff. So this one here, I don't recall. Let's open that. Okay, it's not able to open that. We'll create a new one then. Okay, so you just have to record for one time your sheet. Hope I can find something I can use here. Just trying to find an Excel in there. Well, let's say I want to open an executable. Okay, I could do that. Once I add that, I want to open my application Proximic Scan. I can just double click on this from this menu. Okay, and it will start the application. Okay, so there's ways to do that. You can put some pictures, you can put some executables, Excel sheet again, and you will be able to do that. We're almost at the end. I would just tell you that, since the latest version, if you need to make some change on your screen, there's just above, I don't know if you see that on your side. Okay, you have this my personal settings. Okay, so if you need to change anything on your screen, use that button. It will bring you your personal settings. You decide, you want to change the font size, it's too small for you. You can do that right away. Change the language. The system will just, adjust to your needs, and will keep and record that information. So before it was something from, you had to go to the main menu and stuff like that, but now it's open and you have your own setup. So my display. Tooltips. You saw probably that once you go to the sales order, in my case, okay, if I hover over my mouse over the item, it displays additional information. So right away, it displays me, some stuff I need to know about my item master data. If I hover over the contact person, I can see stuff about my contact, his phone number, etc. I don't have to click on the golden arrow. If I open my customer, I will have some additional data as well. So where it comes from, okay? This is a function called tooltips in your menu. Tooltips preview. Okay, and you must enable it. So if you don't see that, you just have to enable them. And from each of these type of item, you would decide what you want to see on that tooltip. So for my business partner, for example, I want to see BP code, BP name, the tax ID, the account balance. You can do that. I want the account balance in foreign currency. I could do that. It's available as well. The main phone number of my contact, mobile phone, etc. So tooltips is the way to go if you want to have this additional information that pops up right away while you stop over it. This is the right place to go. And finally, the last one. This is what we call the live collaboration. And this is only, unfortunately, I believe, available with HANA. This is something now I have, because I have a small, let me find it. It's here. Okay. So live collaboration is like an internal chat, so you have coworkers who's also working with SAP Business One. Well, live collaboration will list them, in this list, and you are actually able to chat with that person who's using SAP Business One, sending him some message. Okay. And more than that, you would be able, let's say I have opened a sales order, okay? I can take that sales order and send that to my teammate, using the next button that I have a difficulty to see here because it's hidden behind this. Sorry. Probably don't see what I try to do. It's only that something from, okay, send to conversation. Okay, so my sales order was included in there. So the person, Charles, here in this, I do the sending. Charles will get this sales order and will be able just to open it right away and look at the issue that was reported from me. Okay, so live collaboration, if you want to use it, this is a cool tool that is available also with SAP Business One. It's kind of a hidden features, and if you want to use it, it's there. So this is it for my presentation. I hope you enjoyed those tips and tricks, and we will see you next time, for another topics. See you. Bye-bye.